Hi everyone, my name is Eneida Morales and right now I'm going to present to you the Bruner's theory of scaffolding. First of all, we have to know that Jerome Bruner was born on October 1st, 1915 in New York City, and his parents, Herman and Rose, were from Poland. These are the three psychology degrees that he has received through his career. First of all, he received his bachelor's degree in psychology in 1937 from Duke University. Then, he got his master's degree in psychology in 1939. And finally, he earned his doctorate in psychology in 1941. Both of the last ones were received in Harvard University. In 1939, Bruner published his first psychological article, studying the effect of thymus extract on the sexual behavior of the female rat. Besides, Bruner served on the Psychological Warfare Division of the Supreme Headquarters of the Allied Expeditionary Force Europe Committee under Eisenhower, researching social psychological phenomena, and this was during the Second World War. We have to know that Bruner is also a professor. In 1945, Bruner returned to Harvard as a psychology professor. Here, he was heavily involved in research relating to cognitive psychology and educational psychology. Then, in 1970, Bruner left Harvard to teach at the University of Oxford in England. 10 years later, in 1980, he returned to the United States to continue his research in developmental psychology, and finally, in 1991, Bruner joined the faculty at New York University, where he still teaches students today. Bruner is one of the pioneers of cognitive psychology movement in the United States, and this began through his own research when he began to study sensations and perception as being active rather than passive processes. Scaffolding is the theory, and this is a support system that helps children, students, or, well, people to achieve success on their own, even when the task is very, very difficult. It is very common that the teachers use this scaffolding with the students of all ages. And how? Well, they basically guide us, well, the students, the child, through the learning process, lending the support until it becomes evident that the child or the student has achieved task independence. Let's learn the second conditional with scaffolding theory. Remember that the goal is the student getting the idea by their own. We already know the first conditional, and in order to learn the second one, we have to compare these two sentences. We have to focus on the verbs and the difference between them, try to find something new, and try to identify what is different. Don't worry if you think that just one example is not enough. I'll give you another one. Now, with two examples, it's easier for us to notice the differences between the verbs, the idea that the sentences want to give to us, if it is like a sentence from the imagination, or if it is true. Here you have one more example in case you need it. Now we have an exercise with some questions that maybe can help you to identify better the differences in the sentences A and B, and you can analyze a little bit better. In this last part of the exercise, you have to analyze the first and the second conditional structure. Now that you have practiced it, you know that the first conditional is the one that we use when we want to talk about things that might happen in the future or things that are very possible to become true. And the second conditional is the one that we use to talk about things in the future that are probably not going to be true, Or we also use it to talk about things that are not very real or are just a dream. And finally, we also know the structure of both of the conditionals. And that's it. Thank you for watching. And if you have any question, you can ask me and I'll answer you or I will help you. Thank you.